For weeks now, Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chairman, has been set to speak at the Integrated Review of the Capital Framework for Large Banks Conference. Boy, is that a mouthful. Someone's got to make an acronym for that. But that's beside the point. He's been set to speak for weeks, and less than 24 hours ago, Florida Representative Anna Paulina referred him for criminal prosecution to the Department of Justice for essentially lying under oath to the Senate Banking Committee about reforms for the building that they're making. It's a long story. Anyway, I listened to a little bit over 3 hours of him speaking, and you would have thought that he would have addressed those criminal charges. Well, I took notes. I got my notes right here. He did say that they're reducing headcount at the Federal Reserve to show that they can responsibly steward our resources as a country. They said next year, in May, when we get a new Fed chair, it shouldn't affect monetary policy at all because the framework document encourages designs by the committee and not by a sole Fed chair. So it shouldn't. He thinks that whoever we get as the new Fed chair isn't going to make drastic changes, especially to the interest rates. He did note that the Iran, Israel, and Russia-Ukraine conflicts could mean higher energy prices. Blah blah blah. Can't say much about AI because it's just speculative. He did say that the rate cuts argument is a weak argument, right? So someone asked him if we're supposed to see rate cuts or if it's a good argument that we should be cutting rates because, especially in the housing market, there's a lot of people who want to buy homes that simply can't justify it because they're moving from a 2%, 3% interest rate to a 6 or 7% interest rate. They would just be doubling their payment for the same priced home. And his response was that the best thing that they can do at the Federal Reserve for housing is to restore price stability, and that, we have 4.2% unemployment and a growing economy, so that doesn't justify lowering rates in his view. That's arguable. They did ask him about the Trump insults that he's been getting, and he says all that matters is the economy stays stable, and he's not going to react to any of Trump's tactics. But with all that said, nobody mentioned anything about the fact that he might be criminally prosecuted for perjury. Nobody asked him if they thought that this was a potential way that Trump could get him out of office earlier than May, putting in someone he thinks will lower the interest rates. I can't believe that in, a 3.5 hour time period and at least 40, 50 reporters from different news agencies sitting in a room, raising their hands, asking questions for over 3 hours, nobody asked him about this. I can't believe it. It's almost as if this is all just political theater. What do you think?